Today, I want to talk to you about money, and more specifically, our beliefs in relationship to how we view and treat our finances. These are things that I picked up along my journey in my years in the world of personal finance, as well as during my training to become a financial counselor. When it comes to money, there are different things that people believe. For example, some will say that money is the root of all evil. There are those who believe that the love of money is the root of all evil. There are those who don't talk about money, those who save and hoard it as much as they can to avoid spending it out of fear of losing it, those that invest it, and so on and so forth. There are four specific attitudes when it comes to money that I want to address that I don't know if maybe you have ever heard of them before, or maybe you have, and this will be a good refresh. But when it comes to money, there are four different key scripts when it comes to money that we've learned subconsciously throughout our developmental years into our adult years. The first would be money avoidance. Now, money avoidance is a belief that having money means that you're greedy or corrupt, meaning that it'll make you into a bad person. If you're a jerk with money and you get more money, now you're a jerk with even more money. Or if you were a jerk before you got any kind of money, now you're a bigger jerk with money. And also, some people might feel that they're undeserving of the money that they receive. They might feel ashamed. They might feel guilty. They might feel that it's something that they don't deserve. They feel guilty and wanting to have money in a way to provide for themselves. So they actively shun different things such as money that was given to them, or even things that are in the way of a promotion that offers a higher pay, because they are afraid that once they get into that position of higher income, that will cause them to become a horrible person. Also, in this type of belief mindset, there are those who will avoid thinking about it altogether and put their head in the sand and pretend that it's not there. But of course, money's part of our everyday experience. We need money to keep the lights on, to keep food on the table, to keep the water running, to put gas in the car, and so on and so forth. The second money script is money status. Now, money status, for people who believe in this, believe that their net worth equals their self-worth. That is saying, the more money I have, the more self-esteem that I build in myself, the more confident I feel. If I'm not bringing in money, I'm worthless. Those types of people are prone to more dangerous behaviors such as gambling, because we're addicted to the thrill, the high of being able to make those big wins. But however, there are also things such as lying about money that happens as well. They lie to make a big impression. They might be popping bottles in the club, showing the impression that they're a big shot, a baller, whatever you want to call it. But however, behind the scenes, they might be secretly in debt. They might be secretly living in a perpetual credit card cycle, perpetual late payments, perpetual overdraft. Additionally, money status also leads to overspending and unhappiness and anxiety, because in the eternal pursuit of that dollar, you're causing yourself self-misery and self-loathing, and it gradually drains you as you go on. Third kind of money script is money worship. Now, money for these types of folks are the belief that money equals freedom and happiness. And there's nothing wrong with seeking financial freedom. Don't get me wrong. I want to make sure I make that perfectly clear. There's nothing wrong with being financially free, debt-free. And, if that's something that, makes you happy as well, that's the most important type of thing, whatever that might look like for you. Now, in terms of money worship as well, there's the type that also seeks fulfillment in buying more stuff. That's keeping up with the Joneses, having the latest Dior or having the latest Coach bag or Michael Kors or Vera Wang, whatever that might be, the newest car, the hottest games, the biggest and nicest houses. But however, when you are worshiping money, you also tend to overspend and make very risky decisions, such as, dare I say, even going into a gambling mindset. There are those who might overspend and put themselves into an over-leveraged position with their debt to the point where it might cause them to have to file a potential bankruptcy or give up a vehicle, or they might end up having to do things that would cause them to ruin their credit and finances. And additionally, this type of money script will also typically breed those who might be a workaholic. We're constantly working those 97-hour work weeks, 100-hour work weeks, and in pursuit of all the glorious OT, double, triple pay. And there's nothing wrong with making money. However, time is something that you'll never get back. So when you're a workaholic, you're having to sacrifice so much time in chasing of the money that you lose a lot of time. Time that can be spent with your loved ones, time that can be spent doing the things that you're passionate about. The fourth type of money script is money vigilance. It's that people who are in this category believe that money should be saved, never spent. Handouts are bad, however. And they believe that they shouldn't give or receive handouts from anyone. They also avoid buying on credit. And they also have anxiety over money. And so with this type of money script, and I can relate to this because I've been each of these categories at one point in my life or another. But with having money vigilance, hoarding on to that money can cost you a viable opportunity for an investment. As we know, inflation eats away at our savings. But if we can smartly invest our money, then it will allow us to be able to grow that money even further, to be able to do more of whatever it is that you're looking to do in life, whether that is to retire early, whether that is to set up a fund for your child's education, whether it's to pay off debt, so on and so forth. And with handouts, I would say that there's nothing wrong with donating to your favorite charity and causes that you believe in. But however, not everything should be handed out. You should be able to give, but not to the point of where it causes your detriment. There's an important boundary that must be set there. Avoiding buying on credit, there might be certain things you might have to use your credit for. For example, if you don't have the means and time to be able to work on a roof that is greatly damaged from a storm, odds are you might have to take on a loan to take care of the roof. It's not the most ideal thing if you don't have the savings to cover it, but however, it's there if you need it. And also anxiety over money. And I feel no matter which category we fall into, there is a key theme of anxiety around money in some sense. For those who are in money vigilance states, it's being afraid to lose it. For worship, it's the anxiety of not having the freedom in the life that they might want. For avoidance, it's essentially they don't want that to cause them to become a terrible person. And for those who are chasing status, it is not being able to keep up appearances. It's important to be able to understand your relationship with money, as it'll help you understand what beliefs are getting in your way of building the financial future that you're looking to set out for yourself. No one wants to struggle, and no one wants to be in a cycle of being miserable overall. But we have to be able to recognize what key traumas and limiting beliefs and things that we grew up with that might be helping and or hindering us, depending on where you're at in your life and your financial journey. It's important to be able to understand and correct any behaviors that might cause you to become one of these 4 different types of scripts and essentially not reach your fullest potential in terms of your financial well-being. Because eventually, we'll all be past our prime working years. Even if you're past your prime working years, these are still things that can still be changed. And it's important to recognize that every day is a new chance to be able to start. And what better day to start looking at what your beliefs and what your overall outlook on money is than today. We're not promised tomorrow, but we can certainly make our today much better taking our first step. So our first step, I would say, is to look at the different beliefs that we hold, write them down, and be able to take those beliefs, ask yourself, why do I believe this? And why can't I do what it is required to change those beliefs to be able to go down the path that I'm looking to set for myself? Ask yourself, what do you want out of your financial journey? Do you want to keep working and working and working for things that do not hold their value and that will not serve you? Or do you want to be able to get to a point where you're not necessarily having to worry about where your finances have gone, but knowing that you have put your finances in places that will work for you? My challenge to you is to write down those different things that you believe in and evaluate them. And once you evaluate them, be able to have more of an idea of how to conquer those different limiting beliefs and scripts. Until the next time, I'll talk to you soon and enjoy your day.